All right, let's go. It is Monday, June the 23rd. We are just zipping right through the month of June and through the year of 2025 as well. We are in the middle of a heat wave that's going to roll on for the rest of this week. So we're going to talk more about that. We can see the sunshine, the bright sunshine, UV index up to a 11, in an extreme UV index out there. So remember some of that sunscreen, as this is the time of the year when the sun is at its highest angle in the sky. It is straight up in the air at solar noon. And so we have the longest days of the year as well. These are the latest sunsets here for the rest of the month, around 9:10 p.m., little twilight all the way up until about 10 o'clock. So the heat wave, that's the big story here for us. And the other big story that we're going to look at with the long-range weather models, and we typically get to the weather model data around 10:15 to 10:20. But we're going to look at when this thing might end. So it's going to be with us for a little while, unfortunately, if you don't like the heat. If you love the heat and you like to be by the pool or the lake, then we've got some more good stuff for you. Let me go ahead and bring up, look at all of the alerts here. So this is the interactive radar at extolmag.com/weather. And everything that you see in orange, that is a heat advisory. So we are not alone. And then the purple colors, that is extreme heat warnings around parts of West Virginia, northern Indiana, around Chicago, St. Louis, around a lot of those big cities where the heat builds even more and more. And those heat alerts extend all the way up through New England, the mid-Atlantic. So again, we are not alone when it comes to the heat. So as we zoom in a little bit closer here, we are already well into the 80s. It's showing 87 degrees in Clarksville right now. You can click on this. This is the heat advisory that we have today all the way through tomorrow. And I think it will be extended to include much of this week, as this atmosphere, this air mass is really just not going to be changing. So I can go ahead and take off the alerts there and just look at the current temperatures. So if you look at your screen there, we're already up. It's 10 a.m. and it's showing 87 downtown Louisville, 84 in Georgetown, 82 in Sellersburg, 80 in New Albany, 85 around PRP. So just some crazy temperatures out there already. Probably already feeling like around 90 degrees here mid-morning, as we're going to have that heat index climbing up to around 100 a little bit later today. So off to a steamy start here for our first full week of summertime. And good morning to Beverly Haggis. Beverly, thank you for tuning in. Always one of the first to pop in there. And Orlean Whitlow, a little bit too hot for me. Have a good day. Yeah, let me know. Are you a summer lover? Do you love the heat waves? I don't mind it too much. I was out in it almost all weekend long, just sweating and sweating and sweating. But I also want to thank our partners and sponsorships here. We've got Ivy Tech, the Sellersburg campus. There you can go. If you go to ivytech.edu, location Sellersburg, summer session underway. Fall session begins August 25th, so you can get ready for that. You can find out how to register, all the different programs that they have right there at ivytech.edu. Just head to locations and then just boom, right there at the Sellersburg location. Lions Roofing, by the way, they are a great local company out of Memphis, Indiana. Was just golfing with DJ, one of the sales pros out there. But they have, I want to mention, a roofing repair technician job opening. So you just go to lionsroofingco.com and you will find that hiring section right there. Click on hiring and it'll take you to that application. So that's a roofing repair technician. There are also a bunch of job postings still at libspaving.com. That is LIB as in Ben, libspaving.com. And you can just go in the upper right-hand corner, click careers, and there you can see a bunch of job openings. So again, if your friend, family member, anybody that you know that needs an opportunity, wants an opportunity, new career right there, there's opportunities here in Southern Indiana. And nwsbnewwashbank.com, you get that new career, and then you can start that new bank account as well. People you know wherever you go, banking the way you want. You can learn about all their offerings and services right there at newwashbank.com. And a reminder too, if you want to join us up with us and we can help you be that megaphone for your business, your organization, we've got marketing plans. We can put your logos up on a lot of our different products. We've been averaging 2 million views per month over the last 90 days. So over the last 3 months per month, over 2 million views, thanks to you. We are certainly here because you are here, and that allows us to do what we do. And thank you for being a part of it here at Ben at 10 on this June 23rd. Thanks for watching on my page, Meteorologist Ben Peine, Extol Weather on Facebook, and Extol Media on YouTube. And again, they still get some questions about that. Peine is the name. All right, taking another look at that UV index up to an 11. We don't get an 11 UV index all that often. It is just powerful sunshine that we have all across the area. I want to bring up this little bird nerd report before we dig into the forecast here for you. So this is my neighbor, Jennifer Flispart, and she's got a new obsession, and I can see why. I forgot that you could get these. I'm sure it's on Amazon or some local stores, but the bird feeder bird cam, look at that big squirrel eye right there. So you can get other little critters coming by from time to time as well. Anybody out there that has these, let us know how they work and how if you enjoy them. But I think that's a tufted titmouse looking right at the camera, goldfinch, yellowfinch, and the tufted titmouse with that nice hairdo there with the feathers all fluffed up. So pretty cool there. I want to thank Jennifer for allowing me to share that. Here is a look at that forecast. We bring this up full screen. So this is the heat advisory that covers all of our area. It doesn't include areas down to the southeastern sections of Kentucky or eastern Tennessee right now. But so on the bottom right, I shared this on my Facebook page as well. You can see the maximum heat index values climbing over 100 in all of our areas. And a problem too, especially for the elderly and those that don't have AC, is that the lack of relief through the 24-hour period. Like our temperatures aren't dropping off much at nighttime. We're only dropping to upper 70s, especially in the urban areas. So it is just heat stress that can really be a danger. So just think about your neighbors and those that might have a problem with that AC. And these heat waves can cause other issues as well. If you go on the X platform, ABC shared this video of the road buckling and a car just flying over, like off all four wheels up in midair, flying over that. So it can damage concrete, pavement. You can blow out your tires every once in a while. So these heat waves just when they're prolonged like this, just not a great thing and can cause some problems. We've got Lillian Lasley with 84 at her house right now. And Vicki, another good morning. Thanks for watching our Extol Unfiltered, caffeinated by NWSB a little earlier this morning. And again, yeah, we were looking at those temperatures. That's a good point out there. Lillian, I'll bring this back up with those crazy temperatures already. We're looking at the live interactive radar here at extolmag.com/weather. 87 degrees in a couple spots already. And that means the heat index is a lot higher than that. So there's a live look at that. Full force, late June sunshine. And the sun for us is at its fullest force right around the summer solstice, which was last Friday night at 10:42 p.m. We had our first full day of summertime with 94 Saturday, 94 yesterday, and heading up into the mid-90s for today too. That view right there provided by the Falls of the Ohio Foundation, fallsoftheohio.org/webcam right there. All right, bringing back up the forecast here again. That's the heat advisory through at least tomorrow. I do think that will get extended. There's that extreme UV index for today. So be liberal with the application of the sunscreen if you're going to be spending some time outdoors today. So already 90 by noon today. Heat index probably mid-90s by noon, right around lunchtime. Be sweating if you take that lunch outside on the patio. 95 the afternoon high. Heat index around 100 to 105, and still near 90 degrees as you get closer to sunset. I gave it a 10% chance of a pop-up shower. Most areas are going to be dry all week, but there might, if you get lucky or unlucky, depending on how you look at it, but it might give you a brief cool down if you're lucky enough to get that like 10% chance of an isolated, mainly late afternoon pop-up shower. With the heat of the day, sometimes we can get a few of those cumulus clouds to grow big enough to produce a little brief shower. But most of us, again, will be staying dry. All right, back to the forecast here. A south wind, very light today at around 5 miles per hour. Here's the forecast details, 95. There's the heat index, 100 to 105, and our sunset at 9:10. 77, that low temperature for tonight. So temperature's just not going to drop off very much for tonight, and just a very light south breeze, super humid across the area. Air that you can wear, sometimes we call it the wall of mugginess, right when you get, it slaps you right when you get outside. 80 degrees at right out the door tomorrow morning, 90 by noon, 95 for tomorrow afternoon. This is your Tuesday, June 24th forecast. And for our 7-day forecast, the heat wave rolls on. We've got 95 Tuesday, 94 Wednesday, 95 Thursday. Again, really no change. And our overnight low temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Average high is 88. So we're looking at, about 5 to 8 degrees above normal for this time of the year. Some lower 90s for this weekend. The humidity staying super high, and I just put a 20% chance of maybe an isolated pop-up shower or thunderstorm, mainly in the afternoons there as we head through the weekend. But again, primarily a mostly dry forecast here for a long time. So crazy hot, getting summer started off with a bang here. And it looked like, again, when we start to look at the weather model data, early July 1st, 2nd, we might get a front to move in to give us some temperature and rain relief. And I know it's been so wet this year, but by that time, our yards might be getting a little bit crispy. So we might want it by then. My son's out in that heat right now at Valley View playing in a junior golf match. So I'm going to head that way right after this and start sweating myself. All right, let's go ahead and bring up the conditions out there with the weather graphics. We'll move that, bring that up. So what we have here, here's the setup. Big, sprawling ridge of high pressure that is just baking the southeastern, say, almost half of the United States. A front up in Minnesota, it's going to be stuck up there. And so if you want the cooler air, you got to go up really to the northern Rockies and the Pacific Northwest. And so this right here is the center of the high pressure. And we got the jet stream riding way up here. And so typically around the jet stream is where you'll find some active weather as well. That's where you can see that. So this is kind of a big hump or a ridge in the jet stream. So all that does is it really suppresses the cloud development. Typically, you're not going to get much of a rain chance under that area of high pressure. It's going to give you a lot of sunshine, some stagnant air. I looked at the air quality today from airnow.gov, and the forecast is moderate. I won't be surprised if we get some air quality alerts with this as we build up the ozone and the particulates as the sun is baking some of the pollutants that we have across the area. All right, so let me, we'll go ahead and take a look at the temperature pattern and then look ahead with the GFS weather model that'll take us into next week when we might eventually see some relief. Oh, this will be fun too, the dew point map. So this is the measure of the water content in the air. You feel the humidity right when you head out the door. So these are the dew points, which are 75 right now. It is actually muggier here than in Miami, Florida. Our dew point is the same in Cuba. So it is as tropical can get with these dew points. And then if you want that dry air, you got to go again out in the mountains where dew points are in the 20s, desert air, of course, in Nevada. So definitely the muggy air winning out. Look at those dew points all the way in the 70s up into Canada. You don't see that too often. So everything here, 60s and 70s dew points, is basically the heat wave and that super tropical air. Lori saying, good morning from Lebanon, 87 already this morning. Yeah, so going to easily hit 90 by noon. mid 90s as we head into the afternoon. Thank you, Lori, for popping in with that report right there. So there's the super muggy weather that we have across the area, across much of the eastern United States. Now let's put up the temperature map as we do a little more analysis. So it's super easy to see where the heat wave is, right? And that line right here, that's the warm front. Here's the cold front. And look at these numbers out in the northern plains, the northern Rockies, the Pacific Northwest. Can you imagine that? 40s and 50s? That would be some refreshing air, no doubt about it. And then you can see our temps around our region already popping to 88 in St. Louis right now and 84 degrees in Louisville. But I bet we're warming up like minute by minute. So we're probably even warmer than that by now. And so again, our temperature's pretty much exactly the same as you're seeing in Florida, 86 in Jacksonville, down along the Gulf Coast. And it is just a nonstop supply of this heat and humidity coming in from the south around this area of high pressure. So we've got the high pressure has a clockwise flow around it, and low pressure has a counterclockwise flow. So the air is doing this around the area of high pressure, and we've got this return flow on the backside of that high pressure funneling in, again, nonstop, steamy, sizzling weather all across the region. So that high pressure is anchored. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. And that's what we're going to see with the future radar. We'll go to the model temps here. Let me get rid of the telestration. And we'll bring up the GFS weather model. And we're going to look at let's go to tomorrow, weekend into next week. So tomorrow is the 24th. There's our heat wave. Covering again the southeastern half of the United States. You can see that cooler air north and northwest. And as we zoom in here a little bit more, and these numbers are even sometimes conservative. But you can see feeling like the upper 90s to around 100 all over the place. We have got Lillian, going to miss you in the morning. Have x-ray done. Good luck with that, Lillian. Perry Porter, good morning. Let me know how the egg frying on the sidewalk goes. All right. So that is tomorrow. Now we're going to jump ahead to, let's go Saturday. This would be the 28th. And let's check in on the heat wave Saturday. Boy, it is not going anywhere, kind of expanding even. And so the same numbers here. There you can see 90s, 100s. So that is Saturday. Likely to see the continuation of these heat advisories across the area. Hopefully the AC will keep working properly here for us all. Now let's go to Monday. This would be the last day of June, June 30th. How's the heat wave looking? It is still over us. But what I've noticed here, as we get towards July 1st, July 2nd, we might start to see this cooler air start to win the battle. And that would give us some relief. So let's go ahead and look forward into time here to July 1st. And we'll go 5 p.m. July 1st. Okay, then this has been pretty consistent here too. So this is the front. It is suppressing the heat wave down over the deep south. So we're probably not going to get that cool, but it definitely shows a cool down. And with that front over us, it would give us a chance for some rain as well. And then let me go to like July 2nd. So that would be July 1st is Tuesday. 2nd is next Wednesday. The cooler air winning the battle here next week. It would be nice to get a break. Even though I like the heat, it would be nice to get a break. Let's bring up the reflectivity and that chance for rain as well. I'm going to go here to our last day of June. So this here is maybe like a pop-up shower or something like that. Still hot and humid around the area for our June 30th, next Monday. Again, we're looking down the road here because we're looking for that relief. And it looks like that front here moving in July 1st is the timing right now. So that's a good week away. More than a week away. So that's next Tuesday. The potential for a front and some relief across the area. You can see along that front, the increasing chances of some showers and some thunderstorms. If we get behind that front, maybe we'll get some lower humidity air and some cooler temperatures as well. Let me see if we've got a dew point product. All right, so this is the dew points. Next July 1st. So that would be a lot better. If we can get some, even just some 60s dew points, we're going to be noticeably more comfortable. So that's the big headline. Yeah, heat wave all this week through our first full week of summer. Next week, early July, our first week of July, perhaps bringing in some of that relief by then. We've got Judy Tyndall. Good morning. Really hot already. Too hot to sit out and drink the coffee. Yeah, we can bring up the current temperatures as well with our interactive radar here. Again, this is extolmag.com/weather, extolmag.com/weather. Interactive radar right there that I'm moving. 3-day forecast, my 7-day forecast, my weather story that I write up. A lot of other different maps. There you can see the watches and warnings map. You can click on that and you can see all of the heat advisories that are out. Back to extolmag.com/weather. Here's that interactive radar, and already almost 90 in Louisville, 89 downtown. We've got 88 around Sellersburg, 86 around Georgetown. So those temperatures are popping out there. Lebanon at 88. Litchfield's got 85. So just depending on whether the thermometer's over grass or over concrete, we're going to see these numbers already in the upper 80s. 91 there in Fairfield, Kentucky. So 90 by noon, pretty easy, it looks like. And again, if you wanted to pop up any of the alerts, you can see all the heat advisories and extreme heat warnings around the region. All over the Ohio Valley, the lower Mississippi Valley, up into the Great Lakes, into New England. And again, these purple areas, those are all the extreme heat warnings. So it is eastern half of the United States heat wave. But we're not talking records, though, because record high today is 98. I think we get maybe like 94, 95. And then starting tomorrow and for the rest of the month, the record highs are up at around 100 or above. So we're not in record high territory. it's just a long-lasting heat wave for us. John Fox chilling this morning on our Ben at 10 show. Thanks for tuning in here this morning, sir. All right. And soon I've got to get into that hot truck with no AC. Go head over to Valley View and watch my son wrap up his golf match here in just a second. All right. So there's that blazing sunshine as we look live here at the corner of Market and Vincennes in uptown New Albany, Indiana. With that UV index that is right here. I'm about to bring it up. Extreme 11 UV index, about as high as it gets around here. So you can easily burn within about 15, 20 minutes. So definitely apply that sunscreen if you're going to be out there. The play ball forecast, already 90 by noon, easy, 95 this afternoon, still near 90 at 8 p.m. I've given it like a 10% chance of a very isolated pop-up shower, but most areas will be dry. Sometimes in the late afternoon, you can grow a few cumulus clouds that get big enough to produce a shower. You'd have to be real lucky to get that. 95, again, that forecast high today, south wind at around 5, or sunset at 9:10. So that's your June 23rd forecast for today. Tonight, 77, mostly clear, warm and humid out there, and just a light south breeze overnight. So the AC is cranking all hours of the day and night. Forecast tomorrow, 80 out the door, 90 by noon again, at least 95 for the afternoon high. With that heat index around 100 to 105. The heat advisory continues. Sun up at 6:20, sunset at 9:10. Our average high is 88, so we're about 7 degrees above normal for this time of the year. Here is that 7-day forecast. So we've got the same thing happening day by day. Lower to mid 90s for the highs, mostly sunny skies, low temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. So this looks like a stretch. We were hit 94 Saturday. Sunday we had 94. Today we're well into the 90s. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Probably looking at 10 days in a row in the 90s. And our driest outlook that we've also had so far this year. So we'll just get through it. And again, stay hydrated. I've been drinking more water than coffee here this morning, as I'm going to have to get out in the heat here in a second. Plenty of air conditioning if you got it. Check on your neighbors, the elderly. Make sure they're doing all right. Their AC's in good shape as we make it through this heat wave, the first heat wave of 2025. All right. Want to thank here. I'm going to remove that and this as we wrap things up. Again, head over to, it's the summer session right now, but August 25th, you can get ready for that, ivtech.edu. You can get your 2-year certification, a lot of different programs, 42 programs offered. And tomorrow, they got Tuesdays at the Tech. You can register for that, for one-on-one help with registering for classes, how to pay for it, your tuition and aid. They've got partnerships with companies and schools all throughout Southern Indiana. So check them out and get that certification, and then perhaps you can get a job like this. Roofing repair technician, job opening at lionsroofingco.com. So when you go to the website, you're going to see that tab right there, hiring. Just click on that. It'll take you to that application. There's also a lot more opportunities here at libspaving.com. Go to LIB, B as in Ben, S paving.com, careers, and it'll take you to again, all of these job openings where you can just click on it to learn more about that job, what they have to offer there, and how to apply, and all the benefits they offer too. That is Libs Paving, great family-owned company out of the Knobs, largest paving contractor around. And in WSB, people you know wherever you go, banking the way you want. And I do some of my personal and business banking with NWSB. That is newwashbank.com. You can find all of their different services and offerings right there at their website. And if you want to, again, partner up with us, you can just email me, ben@extolmag.com. If you have a weather question or you want to see something in the show, certainly you can drop that in the comments, or you can email me, ben@extolmag.com, jason@extolmag.com. and we can become your advertising partner, marketing program. We've got a lot to offer here, PR at Extol Weather and Extol Media. And thanks for tuning in, whether it's on my page, Meteorologist Ben Peine, Peine, Extol Weather on Facebook. There we go. And Extol Media on YouTube. You can also watch live, extolmag.com/weather. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We always like to end it with a comment that is just popping in. Vicky saying, have a great day. Enjoy the golf with Brady. Yeah, he's probably in the middle of the back nine. So hopefully I can get there and check out a couple holes out there with him. So in his first junior golf match tournament. So good luck to Brady out there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Try to stay cool, Kentuckiana and Southern Indiana, for the rest of this week. We'll talk more about the heat wave. Try to fine tune when this thing is going to end as well, most likely as we go into early next week. All right, you guys be safe out there, and we'll see you later.